I was visiting my mom the other day, and I was going through some of my old stuff. I was stoked when I discovered this old relic of the past hiding under some old Wii remotes and a bunch of cords. The old and original Sony PSP. I haven't touched this thing in over 10 years. It's about 20 years old now, and let me tell you, it still holds up. This thing helped pave the way for the handhelds that we see today. When I found this thing, it felt so much smaller than I remember, and also so pristine and high quality. I'm a sucker for anything from the past, so this is right up my alley. This handheld console is the gaming equivalent of cracking open a cold one with the boys. This is gonna be a good one. So get cozy, grab a coffee, let's jump into it. So many memories of using this thing ran through my mind when I found it. Downloading music and movies on this thing, remembering how annoying the UMD discs are when they're spinning in the back, even using public Wi-Fi to use the internet browser on it. But I also remembered that this is such a unique and super portable gaming device. This is a perfect everyday carry for gamers. It fits perfectly in smaller cases and can easily be slipped into a pocket or another bag and go completely unnoticed. It barely takes up any room. And I almost forgot that they had the little ring on the bottom left side for charms and other goofy stuff you just want to hang on it. Very unique and nifty. I remember putting things like that on my Nintendo DS. But lately, I've been seeing a lot of videos of people modding these handhelds, so I had to do the same. I managed to locate a few of my games, but no charger. So I ordered a cheap charger on Amazon and also a micro SD. Then I started doing some research. I discovered tons of old games that I used to have, but never got around to actually finishing, how to put custom themes on the home screen, and how to put a custom firmware in this device. So I got busy. And also a quick FYI, these things do not pick up modern high security Wi-Fi, so you may have to resort to using a phone hotspot or just getting the USB cable and hooking it up to your PC. That works just as well. First off, the PSP was super easy to mod. I used ArcLoader to do it. I'm pretty sure there are other ways, but for me, this seemed like the easiest, so this is the route I went. And I would check out a video to do so if you plan on doing this as well. And I do believe it varies from model to model. I decided to go with the 128 gigabyte micro SD for the converter, which was probably a bit of an overkill, but it was super cheap, so I'd rather it be more than less. Next, I decided to find some more games from my past that I never got around to fully finishing, or even playing at all. God of War Ghost of Sparta was the first game on my list. It has been a long time since I visited this game, and wow, does it hold up. The visuals and the screen definitely show its age, but this thing can definitely hold its own in the performance department. The game played well and as fluidly as ever. I didn't have a PS3 or a PS4 growing up, so this PSP is how I got my God of War fix, and it plays exactly like those ones did. I was insanely impressed. Slaying the entirety of Greek mythology with Kratos is just as good on a tiny screen. The buttons on the device are pretty small, but nothing that I personally had a problem with. The only buttons I truly wish were a bit larger are the start button, the select button, the volume buttons, and the home button, the ones at the bottom of the screen. And also, the D-pad feels much better to use than the joystick, but it still feels pretty good. A lot of games do use both, but there are a lot that strictly only use the joystick, which is kind of a bummer. And the triggers feel pretty good as well. I kind of forgot how simple it used to be with only 2 trigger buttons, rather than having the 2 additional bumpers as well. They really did more with less back then, and I appreciate that. Some other games that I had to revisit were Tony Hawk's Underground 2 Remix, which I totally forgot even had a PSP release, and good old SSX. You can't play a retro handheld from the 2000s without a skateboarding and a snowboarding game. It's just how the times were. The music in these games brings me back to the exact times when I played them for the first time. I probably had a Mountain Dew by my side and was wearing an Aeropostale t-shirt in one of my random friends' basements. Other games like Ratchet & Clank, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw, and especially Cars also hold huge feelings of nostalgia for me, deep in my soul. I'm so thankful to be able to relive these games from my childhood. It's just such a fun and intriguing experience. One thing I've noticed about PSP games is they have the hardest soundtracks ever. I now remember where a lot of my music taste came from, the music I listened to as a kid, and the music I listen to now. While I was looking through the list of PSP games, I realized that I actually never played the very first Final Fantasy game. And when I saw it was on here, I had to check it out. I figured this would be the time and the device in which I would play this game for the first time. I'm stoked because I loved Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10. I have not played any of the previous ones though. I've played the newer ones of course, but this will be my intro into the old school Final Fantasy games. And I'm super happy to be able to take it on the go. This handheld console is just such an easy one to pick up and take on a trip. You just throw it in any bag and you're on your way. When mainly just playing games, the battery life is pretty solid, nothing to write home about, but pretty good for its time. You can get quite a few hours out of this thing. I did put a couple songs on this device just to make sure that the media player was still working on it, and I was pleased to find out that it works just like an old MP3 player. I forgot that the PSPs even had a hold switch that when switched to the setting, it disables all the buttons on the device so you can put it in your pocket and not worry about it changing the song or exiting the app or whatever. This also applies to the video player, but I'll be honest, I don't really watch much other than just YouTube, so I decided not to really put anything on here and not waste any of the space with movies that I would just rather watch elsewhere. I didn't really utilize it back then, so I don't really feel like utilizing it now. It is still super cool that it is a possibility though. Finding this old device in a drawer at my mom's house was like finding gold. It brought so many games that slipped my mind back into focus and gave me some more retro games to look forward to. I always enjoy a good retro game, and this is just such a cool console to enjoy them on. Sometimes emulation just can't capture the true essence of a game. Sometimes you have to play it on the specific hardware that it was designed for. It's a combination of the external factors, what you played them on, and the times in which you played them. Trying to recreate these experiences is always a fun time, and I encourage everyone who enjoys gaming to dive back into what made you enjoy them in the first place. The PSP in 2025 is a blast from the past, and definitely still holds up. I will definitely be getting tons of use out of mine, and I hope you all will as well. If you like what I'm doing here or find any value in these videos, please leave a like. It genuinely helps me out and helps push these videos out to more and more of you. Also, consider subscribing if you enjoy talking games, lifestyle, or tech. We're almost to 1,000 subs, and I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in and watching these videos. I feel like my last few videos have been pretty rushed and not up to the standard that I'd like to hold myself at, so I hope to make that up with this one and the ones to come in the future. So leave a comment. What did you think of the PSP? Did you have one at some point? What are your favorite games? What games do you want to play still? Let's talk in the comments. Let's talk games. And with that being said, peace.